Coming up, Kenya Electricity Generating Company to raise funds from the market this year, an ice green bond. Ethiopia and Djibouti signed deal to build gas pipeline. Plus, Ghana expects to increase its oil production to 500,000 barrels per day by 2025. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Business Incorporated. I'm Chimizi Obi Iwago. First, the markets. Well, the Nigerian stock market took a heavy beating today after the much-anticipated election was postponed at the weekend. As at midday, the NSE All-Share Index was down almost 2%. On the other hand, other markets were up at intraday. The GSE Index was up 0.54%, while the EGX 30 in Egypt was up 0.52%. Kenya closed negative on Friday. In the Middle East, the markets were mostly down at intraday, except the Dubai financial market, which gained marginally by 0.02%. Abu Dhabi's index was down 0.58%, while Saudi was down 0.24%. Qatar remained unchanged from Friday. And in Europe, stocks were mixed in the morning as market participants continued to monitor trade talks between the world's two largest economies. Well, let's cross over now to the Frankfurt Stock Exchange to get all the details from my colleague there, Daniel Koop. Hello, Daniel. Good afternoon. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Jimmy. Good afternoon. Wow, look, I can't even wait and start talking while you're talking. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing fine. I guess it was a really exciting weekend there in Nigeria. I was following the news about the election, and there's also a lot to talk about here from the European side as well.
All right, let's start off the talk with the talk between the U.S. and China. How optimistic are traders that a solution can be found?
Well, we have to remember, to me, that the ongoing trade conflict, I guess we should even call it trade war between China and the United States. This has been one of the most dominating topics here, maybe beside Brexit, at the stock market here for months, I would say. And now, in fact, there is some hope. We have to remember also that there was this deadline of U.S. President Donald Trump that by March 1st, there would be new tariffs worth more than $200 billion US dollars being implemented. And now we are getting word on the one hand from the US president, who has been saying that those trade talks between the United States and Washington and China, not Washington, that they have been going actually pretty good. And when we also take a look at the Asian equity markets today, it also seems that you can feel the hope there as well. All the major indices there in Asia have been in the green, and I can tell you also here from the investors' perspective in Frankfurt that it would be a big relief for investors if they would finally get a solution in this ongoing conflict. The talks between Washington and Beijing, those are set to continue now in the upcoming days.
Well, Daniel, I'm sure you love cars, so let's talk about cars. Shares of the German car makers are all in the red today. The fear is increasing that U.S. President Donald Trump could implement tariffs on German cars. How is all of this seen at the financial world?
Yeah, exactly. Well, why this trade conflict between the United States and China, that there could be a solution, those discussions about possible tariffs for car makers here in Europe are not off the table. Not at all, actually. We have to remember that U.S. President Donald Trump has been saying in the past quite often that he doesn't understand why there are so many European cars on American roads and not a lot of American cars here on the European roads. He doesn't understand that. He's calling all of this very unfair. So first, we had this discussion about tariffs, for example, about aluminium and steel. Already this was making investors kind of concerned. But when you talk about the car industry, we have to remember that the German economy depends a lot, first on export and also on the car sector here in Germany. The car sector is certainly one of the biggest pillars here of the German economy. So there is some fear as a result when you take a look at the share price of those big car makers here in Germany. BMW, Daimler, Volkswagen, all in the red today. Investors are concerned, and also very interesting also when you talk to the auto auto lobby in the United States, also the auto lobby there is not happy about this latest development at all. For example, when you talk about the case of BMW, the German car maker, the biggest production facility of BMW is actually not here in Germany or not in Europe. It is based in South Carolina in the United States. And when you talk that a car with tariffs worth of 20 or maybe even 25%, that those cars could get about 1,500 to up to 5,000 US dollars more expensive. Of course, there is the fear that also the production in the United States could be slowing down in those production facilities there, for example, in South Carolina. And this would, of course, also put the job there of US American workers in those production facilities there at risk. So that's why also the auto lobby now in the United States is saying, well, Mr. Donald Trump, you should maybe rethink. But we have to remember also that the US president has been saying for lots of time already that he is very much in favor. So yeah, we just have to see how all of this is going to develop.
Well, talking about jobs there, what labor market report is on tap this current week?
Yeah, exactly. The latest labor report actually quite promising. Usually we see the market here a little bit cooling down during the winter season. Now we're getting the latest figures that 45.2 million people here in Germany are with a job. That's a plus of 1.1% when you compare this to 2018. So that's good news. And also the amount of people being self-employed. Also, this number has been going down pretty well here at the stock market. Also, I guess you can see it a little bit in the background. The blue chip index DAX slightly in the red at the moment. It has to do with the share prices of the car makers that are down at the moment. On the other hand, I also want to tell you that the shares of Wirecard that have been going down a lot lately, they are up right now with more than 10%. This is happening also after there has been a report that German authorities are taking a closer look at a reporter of the Wall Street Journal about maybe reporting of wrong issues about the company. So yeah, lots of things going down and happening here at the trade week. Let's see how all of this is going to unfold in the coming days.
Sure, we'll wait and see. Let's give a tab on those data coming in. And of course, don't forget the trade talks. Thank you very much for your time, Daniel.